I wonder if she's still in jail. Yeah, so this is a story of how I found out I was dealing with a fraudster. 2026, she got arrested in January. And then asked for my Zelle information so she could just send it via Zelle, which is interesting. I'm like, why couldn't you send it via Zelle 30 days ago? But anyway, I know she's tired of going to jail, bro. I know she's tired of that. That's crazy, though. She still owe me money. It's $331.03 from 2022 county. Dang. Shout out to all my clients named Danielle. It's not y'all. I'm talking about one specific. This is the story of how I found out I was dealing with this stuff. Cool. So a former client of mine named Danielle, it was a little strange because I had done work for her in the past. So like the first time I can recall meeting her was here at the studio. She came in, did a portrait session. It was either for a birthday. It was for, she said that the photos are going to be used for a billboard I believe a funeral home that she was opening at the time. That was the story. So I was like, okay, cool. That's dope. I don't think any of my work has been on a billboard before. So I was, looking forward to that. Knocked out the shoot, the images came out cool, and, kind of went on our merry way. Some months later, she reached out to me. Her boyfriend was doing like a mobile bartending business at the time. So she just wanted some shots for his business and promotion of his business. So I went to their home or somebody's home. I'm not sure if it was his home or her home or if they were living together, but I went to their home, the home that we did the photo shoot at, set up my backdrop and stuff, knocked them out. It was cool. Nothing really strange there. They had asked me if I wanted to, stay and kick it for a minute. I was like, nah, I'm just finna be out of here, but appreciate the hospitality. So it was cool. Nothing, no red flags. I got paid on time. They selected the photos. It was normal by all stretches of the imagination. Then there may have been one more session in between. I don't recall, but I know the one that led to the strange situation is happened for her daughters or stepdaughter. I'm not sure. Sweet 16. So the Sweet 16 was a birthday / like business reveal. So she was starting a candle selling business. Went out to the shoot. Well, first of all, where I broke my own rule, I typically require 20% deposit before the shoot is added to the calendar, and then the balance is due at the end of the shoot. That's pretty standard. I'm about to go back to my messages right now to see why I even broke that, because there was something she said that I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I remember it was a day after my birthday party, so it was October, and I took my hungover self all the way to wherever the shoot was. Let's see. Okay, so that shoot for her boyfriend was in 2022. I want to say August. Yeah, it looked like August 2022. Send me the bread. I got a screenshot of the Zelle. No problem. Then she sent me, or she called me, and then sent me the information for her daughter's pop-up shop. So the pop-up shop was going to be, like I say, in October in Smyrna at the Smyrna Community Center. Boom. So I received that and I said, got it. I just emailed over the invoice for you to check out. So that way I gave her, what pricing was going to be with the travel fee and actually doing the shoot for like an hour or something like that. And she said, can you send it via text? I'm locked out of my email. It was hacked. All right, September 27th. And then the following day, I said, good afternoon. Did you want to secure that time slot? A couple of people have asked about shooting on that day because somebody had reached out. I just want to make sure, she had ample opportunity to, pay the deposit so that I wouldn't snatch the rug from up under her. September 28th, she said, doing it now. Okay. Did not happen now because there is no invoice paid. So from September 28th to October 10th, she reached out and said, hey, call me. She texted me on October 10th. And then I said, good morning. I tried calling, but it went to voicemail when I hit her back. Then she said, was that you calling me? I'm on a Zoom call. Did you get the $68? I said, no. How was it sent? Then she said she paid it through the link. I said, are you sure that you completed the transaction? Because it shows that you viewed the invoice, but doesn't have any payment associated with it. So I use Square as a payment processor. I've never experienced somebody saying they paid something and then it not showing up on my end. I guess maybe if you don't have internet, connection, it won't go through, but that's not a typical mistake or a mistake that's ever happened actually. So I don't know. So then she said, let me try it again, which is strange because if you paid it, you would just advocate that you paid it, not say, let me try again. But anyway, text her the invoice, a link to the invoice, because, of course, she said she was locked out of the email. Boom. And she said, I'll call you right back. Then on the 13th, she called me and was like, something about an issue with the bank or her card or something to that effect. But she sent me the address to the community center. It's like, very interesting. Whatever. She's paid, like I said, multiple times in the past. I never had any issues. So I was willing to extend that grace of like, all right, maybe she's having an issue with the bank, got to get her card replaced. Whatever the story was. She'll square me away after the shoot. No problem. She said, thank you to, after the event, this is a text message went out. Thank you to you all for helping me make my daughter's 16th birthday party a success. See you soon. Okay, so that's October 15th. At the event, she said, I'm going to, go either, I think she said I'm going to deposit the money or, I'm going to make sure you square it away at the end. I was like, okay, fine. I shouldn't have said fine, but I did because I was already in Smyrna. So I was like, shoot, let's ride. Let's go ahead and knock out the shoot. I had the photos. I have that as leverage. You won't see these photos until I get my money. Boom. So October 15th, I reached out again November 10th and said, good afternoon. I haven't received the payment yet. Hadn't heard anything. And then there may have been some phone calls in between here. I'm not certain, but I see the next text message she sent me was, I'll bring cash by your studio. When will you be there? I said, okay, cool. I can be there anytime today. This is, like I said, right around Thanksgiving time. So I probably wasn't doing any shoots or anything. I was free to just be up here if she needed to meet. And she said, okay, when I get off, I'll text you, or I'm off on Thursday. Or Wednesday, not Thursday. I text back, after you get off work today works for me, because I was trying to get my money because we are now a month and some change into the hole. I need that. She said, okay. Did not ever hear from her after she got off work that day. But I think she called me like a day or two after that and then asked for my Zelle information so she could just send it via Zelle, which is interesting. I'm like, why couldn't you send it via Zelle 30 days ago? But anyway, I sent her a screenshot and then my actual email address that you can, send the money to my business account. And then she said, hey, I'm at work in a meeting. I sent $300 on Zelle, is what I said. I didn't receive it. That's the last communication that I had with her via text message. So boom, I thought that was a little strange. Like I said, she never ghosted me or anything. She always, would respond. So from there, I would call every so often, maybe every week or every 2 weeks, whatever, sporadically. Whenever I thought dang, Shawty owe me $300 still. There's some change, whatever it was. And I stopped getting responses. Of course, her email wasn't working anymore. And then I think her phone started going to voicemail or the number was disconnected, one of the two. And I was like, wow, that's very strange. So something told me to just look her up. I was like, man, I hope nothing happened to her. I hope she never, she can pass away or get sick or, something of the sort. God forbid any of that happened. I was just like, I just wanted to know what was up. It's your boy. You know what I mean? Holla at me. I'm very easy to talk to and understanding. So, that happened. And then I went to my friend Google. Turns out she was arrested. And what she was arrested for was what was super interesting to me. Boom. Yeah, I saw a bunch of articles and stuff. One of them was on Facebook by Jonesboro Police Department that she was arrested for scamming grieving families out of over $80,000 while posing as an employee of a local funeral home. Anyone with information regarding the case, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so she was wanted at this point. This is December 8th. And then it had been updated that she has been found and was currently in custody. And so, it has the wanted, a scammer, scamming people out of their hard-earned money in and of itself. But scam people at the worst time in their life is just evil, which I was like, I agree with Jonesboro Police Department on that one. Here I am, I lost, $331, but people are paying thousands of dollars at a time where they're grieving the loss of their family member. So I just couldn't imagine, man. I was like, that's so I don't have an explanation for that one at all. So to me, it taught me two things. One, I kind of dodged a bullet. It could have been a bigger project to where, I've been out a few $1,000s or something of the sort. So I was, in a way, thankful that it was only $300. And two, it made me stick to my guns a bit more in terms of, I have a process for a reason, system and process for a reason. So like the deposit exists for a reason. The whole point is to mediate some of the risks that I'm taking by providing the service, because once I've done it, I don't get the time back, that kind of thing. So it's like, you got to make sure that, we're sticking to what we say we're going to do on both ends, from a client perspective, and of course, from the business perspective. We have obligations to fulfill. So I want to make sure that I do that. And yeah, that was a learning experience. So as I was telling this story to Key, I was like, man, let me look it up just to make sure my dates and stuff are correct. Blase. So what was that, like 2 weeks ago? So yeah, about 2 weeks ago, we were having a conversation, and, we were just talking about things that we've experienced. So I Googled her name again. Turns out she's been arrested again in 2026. This has been reported by the Georgia Gazette. I don't think she's been found guilty or anything, but this one is. She was arrested on the charge of theft by deception, which is a felony charge. Deposit account fraud, bad checks, $1,500 or more. Yeah, and that was January. So maybe she out on bond or something. I don't know. But I want the best for her. I just think that scamming thing, man, when you're affecting real people's lives, I don't know. You have to answer for that, for sure. I didn't see it coming, man. I hated that. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. Stay aware out there.